everyone, a very warm welcome to the CNBC-TV18 special. Subscription-based on-demand OTT services like Netflix, Amazon Prime as well as Hotstar are fast displacing traditional television programs for modern Indians. In fact, a report by BCG shows that the Indian OTT market is set to explode and grow from $500 million in 2018 to $5 billion in 2023. To discuss how this all stacks up for Amazon Prime in India, I'm joined by the global content creators for Amazon Prime, Jennifer Salke and James Farrell. Thank you so much for joining us today. If 2017 and 2018 were a year of increasing the kind of number of subscribers on platforms, on online streaming platforms, what's 2019 looking like? Is it going to be a year of content for Amazon in India?
I think so. I mean, really, we are so invested in content, global content. I mean, we're in over 240 countries now. We're looking for global premieres to go alongside great big tentpole shows like Jack Ryan and Homecoming and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, in addition to the incredible, material coming out of India with great shows like Made in Heaven that we're here to celebrate today.
So when we talk about the new shows that you're coming up with, you have just announced a flurry of shows. You have Made in Heaven, you have The End, which showcases Akshay Kumar.
Yes.
So what's the kind of run rate? I know you also head content here at Amazon. Run us through what is the plan for India going forward in terms of the run rate?
We've had such great success so far. So our first original premiered in 2017, that was Inside Edge. And then this past year we premiered 5, and this year it'll probably be about 10. And we don't want to stop there either, because we want to get into the regional languages. We want to do bigger and greater and more appealing shows for customers. So The End is just one of many that's coming up soon.
I do understand that there are 7 originals that have come out of India. What is the kind of run rate in terms of the number of originals that you'd like to have as a part of the Indian pie?
What's a really interesting fact about Amazon and our sort of management strategy is we're not trying to hit numbers or quotas as far as how many shows. We're all about the talent. So we come here, and I'm here this week in India to be able to meet creators and spend time with my colleagues with the many talented voices that are coming out of India right now. And for us, it's all about shared passion for content and material. So if we fall in love with 30 new shows, we'll be picking up 30 new shows. If we fall in love with 5, we'll be picking up 5. So it really depends on the passion and the relationship with talent and the projects themselves. So the strategy can pivot very easily, and we always stay right on target, which is what are the best shows that we can deliver to our customers, and we believe shows that we have a shared passion for will accomplish that. So it's really about the creative process.
Is India one of your biggest and the best bets that you have in Asia? What's the kind of potential that you see in the Indian market?
I'll let James speak to that also, but I will say I've been at Amazon for 1 year in this position, running the global content business, and I have been wanting to come here for so long. And so finally, thank God, I made an intention to come here before the year was up, because I think India is such an incredible market. There's so much originality and creativity and diversity of storytelling that's coming from this market in particular. It's just one of the most exciting sources of content for us.
Would you like to add to that?
Yeah, when you follow up on what Jen said about we look for great stories, and if there's 5 or if there's 30, that's how many we're going to make. I think it's a testament to the people in India, the creators, that when Jen made an announcement a couple weeks ago of 20 new shows, 7 of them came from India. That means that the people of India, the creators of India, are bringing forward all these great ideas, and it's a pretty easy decision on our part to support them and to make those shows.
Last year Netflix announced 40 new titles that will be launched. How is Amazon going to match up with that kind of content that's coming in? What is your strategy with regards to the same?
Well, I think we're pretty lucky at Amazon. It's all about the customer. I mean, when Jen and I are talking about should we make this show or this one, or what customers are we trying to hit, trying to target with the content, it's not really about what is somebody else doing. It's, is this a good show, or our customer is going to like it, and that's where we go. So it's a great luxury to have, that we're just so customer focused.
The company overall is not really focused on our competitors, and sometimes people don't understand that, but what we spend our time thinking about is our customers, which then leads us back to kind of shared passion of content and creativity. So we want to deliver the very best shows to our customers.
When Amazon Prime launched in end of 2016, Netflix had just launched in India just perhaps a couple of months before Amazon Prime in India. And at that point in time, within a year, Amazon Prime had a market share of about 10% in the Indian market. At this point in time, what is the kind of market share that you hold in India or you aspire to have in the Indian market?
Well, we don't release any of those numbers, but I will say we're super happy. I mean, the business here is growing as fast or as faster than anywhere else in the world. So, we are happy with wherever we are, but we want to get, much bigger and reach many more customers. So,
is India your fastest growing market in the global pie?
I think one of them.
Yeah, it is one of them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And how long before India breaks into your top, say, 10 markets globally?
Oh,
well, that's the goal. I mean, they're definitely already there.
Yeah. Top 10s for sure.
But just creating truly global content, India is just a huge part of that strategy. So.
And how long before India really breaks into the top 5?
Well, we don't break out those numbers, but it has been shared. I've seen in some previous earnings calls that India is the fastest growing or one of those fastest growing countries. So it won't be long.
So we can expect that to happen, say, in the next 4 to 5 years. Is that a reasonable estimate?
We don't break out those numbers, but I think that's.
I think we're well on our way.
Well on our way, yeah.
So have you identified the kind of genres that are working in India? What are people in India watching? What's really grabbing eyeballs in India?
We've had a lot of success with very different genres. I mean, our last couple shows, Four More Shots Please and Mirzapur, couldn't be more different. Different target audiences, but each of them just had a phenomenal reception. So I think that's a challenge and an opportunity for us. We know we've got these great customers in all different parts of the country, all different economic levels and genders and everything, and we really need to serve all of them. So we've got our work cut out for us, but it's pretty exciting.
And when you sit, like I was saying, when you sit with producers, they aren't just going down one lane. They may make action movies, but they also make comedies. They have very character-driven things and then big kind of world-building stories. So there's really, again, such diversity within the slates of individual producers, which I find really compelling because I don't think viewers like myself or you or anyone, we don't just watch one genre. You have varied tastes, right? You want to laugh sometimes, you want to invest in characters, you want to go on a thrill ride, you want everything. So for us, it's about not narrowing the focus, but being able to just lean into the very best shows.
I'm looking over Jen's shoulder at the Made in Heaven poster and the word original, and I think that's something that separates India from a lot of other countries. It's the originality. It's not, let's do a biography of this famous person, or let's readapt this old literary IP. Zoya and Rima and the rest of the people who made in Heaven, it's a totally original idea. They had this idea and they wanted to tell it. And
it comes from a very personal place, and you can feel that in the content.
I think that's why the content is standing out here.
You also have a lot of regional content on your on Amazon Prime. So what's the kind of pipeline for regional content on Amazon? 7 languages, I do understand, is what you'll offer in India. So going forward, what's the kind of growth and potential that you see in the regional part of the pie?
Well, we've announced our first Tamil original, Comic Stan, just a couple weeks ago. We've announced some of our first Telugu and Tamil first-run exclusive titles like Gangstars in Telugu. So that's just the beginning. So there's a lot to come. Many
conversations this week with creators have touched on that and figuring out ways to, diversify within the content.
When you look at the Indian market, we've seen so many new domestic players also entering the whole streaming space. We've got Z5, we've got Hotstar, we've got so many new players entering the space as we speak. Does it ever occur to you that India is it's a hyper-competitive market in India out there? Does it make things difficult?
It does, but we expect that. I mean, it's a hyper-competitive environment globally, so why should India be any different? There's great talent and content here, so of course we're going to have to compete for it, and we accept that. That's just, that's just reality. And wherever there's great, content and talent, you're going to be competing to get into business with those people. So that takes us back to our philosophy, which is really about building a curated slate of creators that we can work with, show after show, movie after movie. So we build a long-term relationship with those people rather than, trying to be in business with everybody.
On that note, let's flip into when you look at how the pricing stacks up for all the streaming players in the online space. Netflix has maintained that they will not bring prices down in India, but Amazon Prime is priced very competitively at $9.99 for an entire year. So how are you going to take advantage of that kind of pricing gap that exists between you and, say, perhaps Netflix?
Well, I think, we think we analyze this all the time, but right now I think we're really happy with our structure. I think it offers an accessibility to Prime and to our shows for our customers. And as James said, we see that market growing, every week with great shows that we're launching. So we want to be able to invite as many people in to view the content and to be part of Prime. So we're happy with that strategy right now.
Yeah, I think you can't forget either that Prime is not just Prime Video. It's this great retail offering and it's many other benefits. So the price point where it is, some people come in for the retail benefit and then they start using video, and a lot of people, they come in for the video benefit and they start using retail and the other benefits. So I think we're really happy with the access point and getting people and customers to be just really happy.
Yeah, and very happy with the momentum.
Do you expect to increase prices at some level? Do you think that it will make sense to get more premium content onto the platform, to increase prices, to make some money from the Indian market?
We talk about this all the time in every market, and right now I think we're feeling good about where we are in India.
And any plans maybe down the line, say 3 to 5 years, will there be some sort of price revisions that you will explore in the Indian market?
There's no discussions about that right now.
2018 also saw a lot of nominations coming in for the Oscars from several of the streaming platforms. So do you see more such nominations coming out from streaming platforms? What's the kind of difference that you're seeing these days?
I do. You look at a world where at the Academy Awards this year, you had 2 foreign language films vying for, Best Picture and multiple awards. So I do think the world's changing, and I think it's becoming a more global world, and people are more accustomed to, watching content that doesn't necessarily come from their own backyard. It's again, a hit can come from any market, anywhere, at any time, and I think people are just interested in characters, and language is really no longer a barrier.
Do you think there is still some resistance in going ahead and launching a film on an OTT platform? We've seen some sort of criticism come out for limited release films in theaters, but what is your view on this issue?
Well, we're in the middle of that on our, in our movie side of the business, and right now we have just acquired 5 movies from Sundance Film Festival, and we allow ourselves within the deal-making options to, have different types of release strategies. We're still discussing all of that. Obviously, this is a very hot-button topic in the industry right now, and there's a lot of tension. I think a compromise will be met. The world, the business is evolving. The way people are viewing content is evolving. Yet people want to stay, stay respectful and keep the theatrical release going, which I completely appreciate, and many filmmakers feel so strongly about it, including Steven Spielberg and others. So I think people will come to the table and we'll figure out a compromise. What works best to preserve what's incredible about that and our traditional, release strategies versus the future and the realities of how people are consuming media.
Is there a middle ground to that?
Yes, I believe in most things, it's a valid debate and they're going to find a middle ground. I'm an optimist, but I do know that they will find that, and I'm sure there'll be some, there'll be tension and everyone will have to compromise a little bit, but they'll come up with a solution. They have to.
OTT players have been accused of blowing the whole economic model. What's your view on that?
We get this question a lot sometimes, but we don't feel like we come in, looking to blow budgets or overpay for things. I think we're a responsible company. We spend money in a responsible manner, and we pick things that we love and we have a shared passion for with creators, and we get behind those things. And we're willing to compete to make sure that we have those pieces, that content for our customers. If that means we have to stretch a little bit financially, we will, but that doesn't mean that we do that across the board. Not at all. We're very discerning.
I'll say it's been great in the meetings with Jen where the budget, isn't the first thing that's discussed or the second or the third. It's, what's the idea? That's exciting. Let's talk about it. And then, as we get down the road, that's when we start having the budget conversation. So it's not a budget first, what does this cost, way we look at the business.
I know you don't give any numbers out, but is there some sort of larger roadmap that you have in terms of, financials or the kind of revenue that you generate from, the Asian part of the business as compared to the global pie?
We look at multiple models of how Prime Video enhances Prime membership and also drives Prime membership, and so there are lots of different ways we look at it. It doesn't fall into the kind of normal analysis. So I think we are happy with how we're performing, and the company is certainly continuing to invest in content aggressively in a global way. So I feel like we feel good about where we are.
I'm very proud and fortunate to be part of this great Prime bundle, where we're delivering customers value from all different points of view. So,
what's the kind of subscriber run rate that you're seeing in India? I know you can't give me exact numbers, but if you give me some percentage growth in terms of what's the subscriber run rate in the Indian market?
Yeah, we can't share those percentages, but it's growing very quickly, and every big new show, certainly we think helps do that. And I think you could take it as an indication when you hear us announce 7 new shows from India, or the Akshay announcement earlier this week, that we're obviously super pleased with that growth rate, because otherwise we wouldn't be doing that.
You'll also have return shows that will be making their way very soon into the Indian market. So how is that kind of return market? How do you pick the shows that need a second season? What is the strategy behind that?
Well, you're right. We're getting into the exciting phase. In the first couple of years, every new show is a new show. Now you've got your returning hits, plus you're bringing new shows to the service. So the customer proposition is just getting better and better and better. And I would say it's a pretty simple process on which shows return. It's if customers love it, if we get great feedback, if they're starting the season, finishing the season, it's a pretty easy decision, And if it turns out customers say, we'd rather watch something else, then we do that for them.
Yeah, and we'll look at where the season's going creatively. If things are feeling like they're on a bubble and they're just starting to build, we're patient with those shows if we believe in the creative roadmap moving forward.
In the whole OTT market, the online streaming market, there is a lot of concern with regards to regulation. Who's right, who's wrong, what needs to be censored? What's your view on the whole regulatory aspect that's in the market? Do you think there needs to be a body to really govern the kind of stuff that goes online?
Well, first and foremost, we're always very diligent about following every law and every regulation in every country we operate. We start from there, and after that, it might sound like I'm saying the same answer a few times, but we listen to our customers. If they really talk to us and they say, we want to have this or this, we listen, we pay attention. So it's an evolving strategy on that, but we always are keen to make sure we're abiding by all laws.
Right, and it's complicated, and we really look at things on a case-by-case basis, but we have an ability to look at instant feedback from customers. We can see it. They're very honest with us about. So if something feels like we need to take a closer look at it, we always do that, and if we feel like we need to make an adjustment, we do. But we use, respect for the laws and in individual countries, common sense, and integrity to make those decisions on a daily basis with content.
So does that mean that you go ahead and do a self-censorship for shows that really require it based on feedback? How does the whole process work?
I think it varies on project to project, but you sort of start out, because we're so involved in the creativity, we're not just, there's no surprises, we're involved, we know what's happening, we know what to expect with the content. So you've already had some of those conversations up front as to what the content represents. Is it content that feels like it's going to walk a fine line, or is it not? And we always try to have those conversations early so the show can be crafted in a way that doesn't become something we're chasing that we need to get in front of.
Right, I also wanted to talk about Women's Day, and I do understand that you've been, heading this business for some time now. But what does it take to have the kind of leadership, qualities, being the woman on top? What does it take?
It's such an exciting time for women, and there's so many great women on my team, and I see women creators that we're working with across the globe who are really stepping up and, expressing themselves and their passions, and it's been very exciting. For me, I'm a very transparent leader. I love teamwork. I have a very open door policy, and I don't know if only women are like that, but I feel like, as a woman myself, I can speak to that. I just feel like it's a more collaborative kind of environment that I like to build, and it's been very productive for us. It's a very exciting time to see women really step up and take ownership of their passions and be able to express their passion for content. And we have so many great female creators on the roster that I'm just so excited about it.
Over the last couple of months, are you seeing more and more women get involved in the creating and the production of the films or the TV series?
Absolutely. Just coming out of Sundance, we bought 5 movies there, and 4 of them were directed by women, diverse women, and really interesting, talented women. And so For us, yes, you're seeing a lot more diversity. You're seeing a lot more diversity in the casting process, both in front of and behind the cameras. And, for us, our goal is to, we're audience focused, our viewers, we're focused on customers, and Amazon has such a diverse customer base, and so we really want to be sure we're reaching all of those people with authentic storytelling that reflects their own experiences. So for us not to do that would be a real loss for us. And so to be able to have this moment where women's voices are really being amplified at the same time I'm coming into this job, and to be the recipient of so much of that incredible creativity has just been a dream. It's really been exciting.
James, what about the portrayal of women in the OTT platform? Are you seeing more women-centric films or women-centric TV series that are really making their way to these platforms?
You're absolutely right. I mean, Made in Heaven, which premieres tomorrow, 4 More Shots Please, which was our last one that had, the women leading behind and in front of the camera. So absolutely. And they do phenomenally well with our customers. So we're not going to stop anytime soon.
And talking about women, you're also going to be featuring Priyanka Chopra, I believe, in a series going ahead. Is that true?
We're talking about something, so stay tuned. There's no announcements yet.
With that, it's a wrap on this very special show. Thank you so much.